we talking? Well, so today's presentation, today's session is going to be focused on the most relevant insights into your previous task, which was about language and the 3 dimensions of language. If you can remember, I was revising your work and I was surprisingly glad to find out that you actually came up with relevant suggestions, relevant contributions and insights into Saussure's work on language. Let's start with what you did. Remember that you investigated these 3 different dimensions, and it was important for you to do it because you're studying a BA in languages in English. You know, you're studying a BA in English, and it's important to reflect on the reasons why you're doing it by means of analysis, an analysis on what language is, what language represents, and what language may actually impact other branches of knowledge. So you actually provided with a couple of examples for the general ability of for human beings to express, to communicate, and to get this almost spiritual bond with interaction. And you also investigated variations of language. And now that we're talking about variations and what I found from your reports, it's high time we went over different lines and different branches from language in order to go beyond, one step beyond. So you're gonna be experts. This is gonna be your area of expertise, and you need to know what each concept or term refers to. As a result, it's important for us to investigate as well the following questions. What is a dialect? Okay, once we know the variations of the 3 dimensions of language, you need to answer this question. What is a dialect? Try to look up for definitions and give examples of a dialect. You're gonna carry out this in your dynamics in class section, okay? And you will upload it to the corresponding folder with your name. The folder is there uploaded to Google Drive. It's important to reflect on these variations of the language because as this is your area of expertise, it's gonna be a self-reflection in the end. It's likely to work as a mirror effect so that you can see what language is, how language works, the issues around language, and the impact it has on you and how you can impact language at the same time. You also need to investigate the following question, which is another variation of language. What is slang? What is slang? And give an example of it. Try to look for reliable sources of information. Whatever web page you check up, you will need to provide with the source of information by using Apostrophe. Okay, so this is your first piece of homework. Investigate what a dialect is and investigate what slang is. Provide with definitions, give examples of each, and upload your work to Dynamics in class. This is likely to complement what you've done regarding language and what Saussure suggests, parole, langue, and language. Now, in relation to the current presentation, to the current topic in the second session, we are going to check the parts of the speech regarding English. Okay, today we're going to focus on one soft skill, which is vocabulary. But at the same time, we're going to be shedding light on grammar and grammatical structures, as well as grammatical categories, which are parts of the speech. The first question I want to ask you is, what is a noun? What is a noun? Does anybody know? Can anybody help me answering this question? Can anybody answer this question? What is a
Me,
noun? Yeah, please. What's your name?
Lucia.
Ah, Lucia. Yeah, please, Lucia. Go ahead.
Yes, it's like in this case, it could be an object in the sentence. It could be a pronoun. So it's just a thing. Mhm.
Excellent. Okay, very well. So a noun could be referring to things, right? Could be referring to people or even animals. Basically, a noun could be everything that exists. A noun, it's a word that was named after a feeling, a situation, a person, a place, a thing, or an animal. In order to have meaning for us, it's gotta get, a name, of course. So this is quite related to our previous investigation and the concepts, approaches we got toward language. Once we know what language is, we could reflect on how language emerged. And there are different theories. One of the theories, regarding language acquisition, language development, and how it emerged has to do with our relationship with nature. And supposedly, we try to keep with the rhythm of, nature and sounds, somehow trying to repeat the sounds of nature, such as the seas or the winds or the fires, in an attempt to have this bound between nature and human beings. And then, different theories emerge, evolve regarding this language acquisition. And it stated that another theory, stated that social interaction was a key factor to take into consideration, and that we actually started communicating because of a need of social interaction and expressing our feelings and trying to be understood and understand others at the same time. While there are other theories regarding behaviorism that have to do with action and reaction, and in how active learning was constructed by means of the relationship between the environment and the human being, an atmosphere and our reactions to the atmosphere, um, with the role, of human beings, but not with social interaction, but an interaction with the atmosphere. And we can think of an example of how mothers talk to their babies in a very different way so that they can be understood, and children somehow imitate, babies imitate the sounds their mothers do, in a very particular way, you know. There you could see the mom saying, "Ooh, baby, and the child, of course, smiling, trying to, the baby's trying to cry in order to transmit or to laugh or to produce sounds, which are similar to her mother's. But it's interesting to see how this relationships are interweaving, intertwining among human beings in order to create language. And one of the things, that eventually evolved was the structure of a language. And the structure of English has to do with the separation, segmentation of, grammatical categories. And this is what we call parts of the speech. One of them is, nouns. This exercise was thought to be carried out face to face. It's impossible because we're working online, by means of a flipped classroom and blended learning. So what we're going to do is to carry out the task and store it in your dynamics in class. What you need to do is to answer the question, what is a noun? Investigate, read by your own. You could surf the net or read a book. It's up to you. But you have the information at hand. The only thing you need to include is the source of information where you took the data from. Okay? Try to look for suitable and reliable sources and give the reference at the end. Okay? Define what a noun is and give examples. You're going to do the same with different parts of the speech. You're going to do the same with verbs. You're going to look for adjectives. What is an adjective? Examples for adjectives. What is a verb? Okay, actions. Okay, there are different kinds of verbs. Okay, how many are there? Regular verbs, irregular verbs, transitive verbs, stative verbs. How many kinds of adjectives are there? Superlative, comparative adjectives, regular adjectives, irregular, I don't know. What is an adverb? Write the definition of an adverb. Okay, give examples of adverbs. And the same with conjunctions. What is a conjunction? Well, it's a word that links to different clauses or to different sentences, whether affirmative and negative. Give examples of conjunctions. So this is something you're going to do for homework, and it's going to be placed into your dynamics in class. You have the folder, you click it, you go to your folder, the folder with your name, and you include this week number 2 homework. Okay, this is going to be your second task. What is a noun? What is a verb? What is an adjective? What is an adverb? What is a conjunction? Give a definition, provide with examples, and give the sources of information you revised by following up a formatting. Now, as I said, this was supposed to be a face-to-face session, but it's not. So this is just an example of what you needed to do, but don't worry, we're gonna skip this. This is our task. Okay, now take a look at the following slide. A powerful resource in language learning. This day and age, the use of dictionaries is kind of old-fashionable. It's kind of old-fashionable because hardly ever do we read a book, or an encyclopedia, as we have the internet. But it doesn't matter, we also need to know how to use electronic dictionaries, because we are going to be looking up the meaning of words constantly. Maybe at the beginning, because you are taking beginners, English for beginners, it won't be that necessary to go to a dictionary and to look up every single word. But the moment you get to upper intermediate, let's say, advanced or pre-intermediate, you will have to look up the meaning of words. And some of you need to do it right now. And in order to do it, you need to follow specific procedures for storing meaning and for organizing lexis. That's why I think it's very important for us language learners, professionals, potential professionals of the language, to know how to use the dictionary, whether electronic or the traditional format. Take a look at the following words. You have hazy, the, he, hello, with, horse, hands, but, heel. 9 different words, okay? What you need to do as part of your dynamics in class is first, number 1, look up the meaning of the word, okay? Each of them. Number 2, identify each word's part of the speech. Identify what each of them belongs to regarding a grammatical category. And number 3, give examples of how to use the word, okay? Sentences, in order to give examples of how to use the word in context. That's going to be language in use. So you have three different tasks in a single one. Number 1, look up the meaning of the words. Number 2, identify and state the grammatical category they belong to. And number 3, give examples for the use of each of the words with meaningful sentences. Okay, that's going to be the next task. Good. Does anybody have a question so far? Do you have a question here?
Can you repeat it? My internet just stopped.
I will, certainly. What you need to do is to take a look at the following 9 words. Reflect on the words and then look up the meaning of the words. What do they mean? Write the definition. Number 2, identify the part of the speech they belong to, whether verbs, adjectives, nouns. Okay, you need to detect the grammatical category for each of the words. And finally, write sample sentences that illustrate the words in real use. Sentences which are meaningful for you. And this presentation, thank God, this presentation is going to be uploaded to Eminus so that you can check again what you need to do, because I'm recording the session. Okay?
Thank you.
You're most welcome. At the end, you're going to be answering this question, what parts of the speech did you find? And you will figure out that there are different parts of the speech, This is going to be dynamics in class. Next. Okay, how are you going to do it? How? Well, this is an example of how you're going to do it. Check it out. How to use the dictionary, online dictionary, electronic dictionary, e-dictionary, or traditional ones. I love traditional dictionaries, I don't know why. I might be very romantic, I don't know. But I really love dictionaries, and to read them. Well, because I'm getting too old, but I do, and I also enjoy, looking up words in electronic dictionaries. But you need to do it in a systematic manner. You need to know how to do it and how to identify the particles of a dictionary regarding knowledge and lexis. Take a look at this sentence. Well, it's not a sentence. Take a look at this word. The word is listen. Okay, listen. And you will see that, sorry, there is an arrow here. Can you see the arrow here? This arrow is pointing to this very little symbol. Can you see?
Yeah.
Yes.
Ah, thank you for your answer. Oh my God. Oh my dog. I was getting scared, you know. Am I alone here? No, you're here with me. You're following me. Now, tell me, what does this symbol refer to? Can anybody help me? Huh? Does anybody have an idea? What is this symbol, by the way? What is it?
It's an apostrophe.
It's an apostrophe. You're right. It is. Yeah. And what is it referring to here? What is the function of the apostrophe here?
Is a contraction.
No, it's not a contraction. You know, apostrophes work for contracting words. You're right. You know, when you have, for example, the verb to be, I am, and you say I'm, that's a contracted form. But you are not contracted here, you know. The apostrophe is working for a different purpose. Which is the purpose? Remember that we are looking up the meaning of listen. What is the meaning of the apostrophe then?
It means the sound or something like that.
That's right, Jose. What's your name?
Luis. Luis
Ah,
Javier.
Luis. I'm sorry, I can be more silly. Luis, you are
Oh, don't
right,
worry.
Luis. The apostrophe is referring to a specific part or phonetics, which is called stress. We're not talking about stressful thoughts or feelings. No, no, no. Stress refers to the emphasis on the pronunciation of a word, the syllable which is highlighted. So the apostrophe here is indicating that you need to emphasize the first syllable, li, because you don't say listen. No, you say listen. Listen to me. Listen. Okay, so the apostrophe refers to the stress of a syllable of a word. And then you have a second arrow here, check it out, which is pointing to these letters all together, you know, in brackets or in slice, you know, slashing, sorry, slash. What does this arrow refers to? Well, I mean, what do the letters refer to? You have L.
Refers to the pronunciation.
It's the pronunciation. That's right. Brilliant. Thank you very much indeed. It's a pronunciation, you know, and they are codes. They are symbols that establish general sounds according to the International Phonetic Alphabet. The International Phonetic Alphabet is a phonetical establishment, a phonetical agreement for all sounds regarding language, you know. So we're going to take a look at the International Phonetic Alphabet as well, so that we can see the different sounds that could emerge from the language. As a general understanding, you know, a person who speaks Spanish or a person who speaks French as their mother tongue could look up the meaning in English, listen, and understand by means of analysis of the International Phonetic Alphabet that the way to pronounce it is listen, but listen, right? You don't say listen, no, you say listen, because they are following here the pronunciation according to the Common European framework. So autonomously, you could figure out the stress and the pronunciation of a word, and you're learning by your own in an autonomous way. Then you have another arrow, which is a B. What is this B referring to?
A verb.
The
Verb.
verb.
Hey, yeah, that's right. It's referring to the fact that it's a verb, it's a grammatical structure, it's the part of the speech. Okay, it's a part of the speech. It's abbreviated B dot. That is verb. Excellent. And then you have another arrow. It says the word in Spanish. This usually, well, they should be the meaning. You know, they should be the meaning. But if you are using a bilingual dictionary, it's gonna give you first and foremost the translation, okay? The translated word. But in fact, here we should have the meaning of listen. For example, listen. The action or ability of hearing sounds, people sounds, or sounds of nature. Or the ability to keep up with the conversation by means of understanding. You know, so we should have the meaning there in English, but sometimes you find the translated word into Spanish. It depends on the kind of dictionary you are employing. And finally, you have another arrow here. Sorry. And this arrow is pointing to the sentence, he often listens to music. He often listens to music. Well, this is referring to the example sentence. How to use the word. And you can come up with your very own regulations and structures of the language. If you pay close attention to the example, you might come up with a couple of conclusions and say, okay, listen, it's the way you pronounce it. Listen is the stress well placed. Listen is a verb. Listen means to be able to hear. How can I use the word listen? And you say, well, okay, listen is always used with the preposition to. I listen to you, you listen to me, I listen to music. Listen to, it's a collocation, cannot be separated. Listen to. And then you start, you know, creating your own rules, your own regulations. Okay, you can also think of how to use the word, different contexts, etc. Now, take a look at this. In brackets, here we have, in parentheses, we have STH or SB. This is referring to something we're about to check. Abbreviations for looking up words and for using online dictionaries or, you know, traditional ones. When you have that STH refers to something, that's the meaning of the abbreviation. These are abbreviations. They are not acronyms, you know. Acronyms work for a different fashion, for different purpose. You know, acronyms should, you know, acronyms are the ones, for example, I can give you an example, are the ones that refer to ideas which are somehow reduced to symbols, such as VIP, you know, very important people, or as soon as possible, you know, or you only live once, etc. Right? Those are acronyms. These are abbreviations that are going to be found when looking up words in a dictionary. For example, SB, somebody, or N, noun, or ADJ, adjective, or V, verb, or BRE in italics. What does it refer to? Does anybody have an idea? VRE. Yeah? Anybody?
British English.
British English, that's right. It refers to the territory, and it has got two different dimensions, both spelling, okay, pronunciation, or use of the words in certain territories. You will see an example in what follows. Take a look at the blue square, okay? Take a look at the blue square. Here you have. The word in blue square is swollen, swollen. And there you have ADJ, which means adjective, right? It's an adjective. Number one, that is the first use of the word. Little dog. Okay, the first use of the word. A part of your body that is swollen is bigger than usual, especially because you're ill or injured. Swollen glands, or a badly swollen ankle, right? Playing football. Or his eyes were swollen from crying. And then you have, very big eyes. So that's the first use of the word swollen. But you have another one, and that's why you have number two here. Number two. A river that is swollen has more water in it than usual. That's another meaning of the word, right? You have another one, number three, to have a swollen head or to be swollen headed. And then you have VRE, that is British English, as your classmate share. Yeah. What's your name, sorry? Jose? No. What was your name? Well, I can't remember. Anyways. And that means to be proud.
Yes.
Yeah, Jose?
Sí.
Yeah, perfect. Yeah. To be proud and think you are very clever or important. Okay? And this is very relevant for you because you can distinguish and discriminate the territories and the different variations of language. If you use the sentence, you're such a swollen-headed, people might not understand your message. Or if you use it in South Carolina, right? But if you go to the UK and you use this phrase, which is kind of an idiom, an idiomatic expression, people might understand you very clearly, right? So it's important to know these differences between territory, and the most relevant domains of English are usually separated in dictionaries by American and British, just because of spelling affairs and pronunciation issues. But indeed, if you go abroad and you decide to go to Australia, you will see that there are specific dictionaries for Australian English. The same happens with Spanish. If you go to Spain, although we have the Real Academia de la Lengua, but you go to Mexico City or Colombia, well, they might have different dictionaries according to their specificities, right? The same happens with English. Remember that you need to be ready to face second language learning, the second culture, a second culture. And this culture, the English native speakers culture, and also the colonized territories. It's going to be really diverse, you know, it's going to be really multicultural. It's going to be an umbrella concept where the word Englishes, you know, because it exists, you know, there is this concept of Englishes, actually sums up very well because it refers to the whole diversity and variations of the English language around the world. You know, English might work as a lingua franca this day and age, but there are also variations of the language which are important to be considered when learning, you know, whether learning in a second language environment or a foreign language setting alike. Well, for homework in your dynamics in class, you're going to add 20 abbreviations that you consider important to know, okay, when using the dictionary. So this is another piece of homework. This is another task for your dynamics in class. Now, we're going to check my definitions, okay, my investigation regarding the parts of the speech. This is mine, okay, this is my inquiry. You need to do yours, and that's something you're going to place in your dynamics in class. First, a noun. This is my definition, okay? Well, it's not mine, no, it's what I investigated. You will see that it's a little bit more complex and elaborate. Any member of a class of words that typically can be combined with determiners to serve as the subject of a verb, can be interpreted as singular or plural, can be replaced with a pronoun, and refer to an entity, quality, state, action, or concept. Quite more complex definition, right? A verb. Can anybody help me? Can anybody help me here? Can anybody read the definition of a verb?
Me.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, verb, a word that characteristically is the grammatical center of a predicate and expresses an act, occurrence, or mode of being.
Thank you very much, okay? So we're not talking about simple actions, but a more complex definition. Next, adjective. Can anybody else help me read this sentence? Whoever. No? Not really?
Okay.
Yeah, please.
Modifier of a noun to denote the quality of the thing named, to indicate its quantity or extent, or to specify a thing as distinct from something else.
Very well. Thank you very much. Okay. Now we're not talking about qualifying the words, but, you know, a more complex definition. An adverb. Anybody else, please? Just read it. Read it aloud for everybody to listen. Any volunteer?
Me.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate it.
A modifier of a verb, an adjective, another adverb, a preposition, a phrase, a clause, or a sentence, expressing some relation of manner of quality, place, time, degree, number, cause, opposition, affirmation, or genial.
Thank you very much. That's right, okay. Very interesting. If you reflect on the definition, you will see that an adverb could have an impact on verbs, an impact on adjectives, an impact on other adverbs, an impact on prepositions, on phrases, or even clauses, or whole sentences, you know? So adverbs really modify most of the parts of the speech. We have frequency adverbs, you know, adverbs of manner, or adverbs of place, or time, you know, denial, affirmation, opposition, cause. So it's very interesting to really get to understand our definitions. What I want you to do is to investigate by your own. This is my investigation. This is what I found. But if you find out something different, try to come up with your definitions. A conjunction, an uninflected linguistic form that joins together sentences, clauses, phrases, or words. And give a couple of examples. Or, and, because, although, though. Preposition, a function word that typically combines with a noun phrase to form a phrase which is usually expressed, which usually expresses a modification or predication. Article, any of a small set of words or affixes, we're gonna check that as well, such as a, an, or the, used with nouns to limit or give definiteness to the application. Oh, and finally, you have interjection, an utterance usually lacking grammatical connection, expressions such as cheers. This is where I took the information from, okay? This is the way I'm stating where I took the data from. Merriam-Webster dictionary. It was a gift. I got the physical dictionary, but you can also search for it online. Yeah, this is the link. You need to do the same. Come up with your definitions for each part of the speech. State the reference where you took the information from by following APA formatting, and give examples for each of the parts of the speech. Well, this was an activity for classroom interaction, face-to-face interaction. It's gonna be impossible to do it. Well, not impossible, but I don't think that's gonna be relevant or suitable. So I rather ask you to do the activity in an individual manner and online, and it's going to be included in your dynamics in class. Check it out. Take a look at the following lines. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. 7 lines. Remember, this presentation is being recorded. You will be able to check the presentation again in a link placed to Eminus. If you go to Eminus, you will find this presentation is going to be named after second session parts of the speech strategies. And you can check it again. You could revise it one more time. And what you need to do here is to decide what each of the 7 lines refers to regarding grammatical categories. For example, livelihood, procrastination, anger, cleverness, autonomy. What does this line belong to? Does it belong to verbs? Does it belong to nouns? Does it belong to adverbs? Does it belong to interjections? Well, you solve it. And once you solve it, upload it to the dynamics in class section in your folder, of course, in the folder with your name. Okay? That's going to be another of your tasks for next Thursday. Next. Okay. Okay, this is your homework. More homework for next Thursday. Design 4 flashcards for each of the following parts of the speech. 4 flashcards for adverbs. That is 4 adverbs. Okay. 4 conjunctions. We have 8. 4 prepositions. 12. 3 articles. 15. Oh my God, I'm very bad at math. Yeah. And 4 interjections. 19 flashcards. How are you going to design the flashcards? Well, you have the following options. They could be online flashcards by using ReadLang, Flashcards Online, My Online Flashcards, any application, any resource, any web page, you decide. You can do it online. Another option, to do it by handwriting and then take a picture. Or, by using Word format, Excel, or PowerPoint. The size of the flashcards and the format and the guidelines, there are none, no guidelines, no specifications. They are individual because they are for you. And they aim to remember the meaning of words and the parts of the speech they belong to. So make sure you include the word, the part of the speech, the meaning, and perhaps a sample sentence. Design your flashcards by following your style, your approach, your perspective. Use online tools or do it in a traditional manner by handwriting. You decide. But you need to place your flashcards. You need to upload the flashcards to the folder called Flashcards. There you click it. It's you can find it to Google Drive. If you go to Google Drive, you will find it there. On the folder called Flashcards, create a new folder with your name. The same procedure, okay? Once you create the folder with your name, you place your flashcards there next Thursday. Okay, Thursday 8th. Okay, Thursday 8th. Okay, does anybody have a question?
Yes.
Okay, listening to you.
¿Puedo hacerlo en una aplicación que se llama Canva?
Yeah, that's a very nice one. I know it. Canva is a really nice one. Yeah, I strongly recommend it. That would be perfect.
Thank you.
I use it, I use it. What's your name?
Yvonne.
Yvonne, brilliant suggestion. Brilliant suggestion. That's a very nice one.
Teacher, I have a question.
Yeah. What's your name? Sorry.
Lucia.
Huh?
Lucia.
Lucia. Sorry, I can't see you. That was my bad. Sorry, Lucia.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Ajá. Entonces, si es en línea, deberíamos subir como que el link en donde vamos a hacer.
That's right.
Solamente.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's right.
Gracias.
Very well. Good question. Okay, remember that this presentation is being recorded. You can check it again so that you can understand every single detail of your tasks. Next. More homework, huh? Remember, well, this is a reminder. Yeah, this is a reminder. Remember that this is week number 2. Okay, for this week, you need to record 10 more words and store them into your vocabulary chart in the same folder. Okay, this is just an example. Yeah, but you don't need to follow the format I'm proposing. This is just the way I do it because I'm very systematic and simple, straightforward. I'm not a very creative person, honestly. I'm just analytic. And this is the way well, I used to store the words I'm learning, you know, because you never stop learning, you keep on learning all the time. But you can follow your own style, and I have already checked some of yours, you know, your work, and they seem really suitable for storing 10 words, okay? So this week you're going to store 10 more weeks, sorry, 10 more words, not weeks, because, you know, that would be impossible. 10 more words, okay? This is just a reminder of what you need to do. Okay, remember that this is part of your evaluation. So you need to be committed to this work. You need to continuously check it up, and you need to keep up the good work. Another reminder, you need to investigate what the International Phonetic Alphabet is. What is the International Phonetic Alphabet? Okay. Download a PDF or an image, you know, could be a picture of the International Phonetic Alphabet, such as this one, okay? Include it in your folder, Dynamics in Class. Include it there, okay? Place it there. This can be done today, tomorrow, the day after tomorrow, on Saturday, on Sunday, or even on Monday, okay? So you have until Monday to do it. The International Phonetic Alphabet task, I mean. The previous tasks need to be delivered by Thursday. Why Thursday? I'll tell you why. Because I have 150 students, okay? And I have for about 6 different groups. And I take my time to check yours on Thursday evening and Friday morning. Otherwise, it's impossible for me, because I have another group and I check it on Saturday, and I have another group, I check it on Sunday, and the others on Monday, and the others on Tuesday, and the others on Wednesday. So that's why. It's not because I'm a very demanding teacher, or no, nothing similar. It's just because of organization issues, okay? You need to be patient, because it takes time giving feedback, checking up your work. I need to get through a bunch of papers and homework, but it's my commitment and it's part of the learning and teaching process. So please do it and follow the due dates for delivery. Remember, you also need to keep on working with your journal. So for this week, yeah, you're gonna be placing your second entry in your journal, okay? So you're going to write your second entry of your journal and you place it there to your folder, in the journal folder, okay, to Google Drive. I'm gonna be continuously checking the folders, commenting, revising, keeping track of your development, because this is part of your performance in the class, but also this is part of your grade score in the class, okay? So you need to be continuously checking it. And well, this is for next class. We're going to stop here. Yeah, it's been an hour. Yeah, it's been an hour. We're going to stop here. You have plenty of homework. Yeah, and next session, I'm gonna be sending you an email for meeting up online one day before, okay? Check your UB accounts. I'm gonna be sending you the same invitation. It could be next Tuesday or Thursday, I don't know. It depends a lot on your work. It depends a lot whether you're ready to continue with the International Phonetic Alphabet topic, or we just need more time for checking up your work. Remember, you need to be patient. By all means, I ask you that by all means because it's a lot, okay? It's a lot of homework, but it's a lot for me to check as well. So this is a dialogue, a learning dialogue, okay? You come up with your tasks, I check, and I give it back to you for checking up, okay? This is a dialogue, and that's the way it works for learning to take place. So good luck with your tasks. Keep up the good work. Keep on making an effort. Keep on being committed to this class. And I appreciate it for your previous task. You know, they were really relevant. They were high quality evidence of your performance. Okay, I'm gonna stop the presentation now. Hold on. Remember that this presentation is gonna be uploaded to Eminus. You will be able to check Eminus. It's gonna be placed there. The presentation is gonna be named after session 2, parts of the speech strategies. Okay, it's gonna be a link to YouTube. I'm gonna upload the session to YouTube because you know it takes a lot of time to upload it directly to Eminus. I'd rather use YouTube, and then you will have the link there to Eminus for checking everything again in case you need to. Now, do you have any questions? Comments? Maybe you have a couple of comments. I'm listening to you.
Professor, I had a question.
Yeah, Kira.
Yes. So the investigation of the international alphabet is other homework?
Yeah, that's right. It's
Yeah?
another piece of homework.
Okay, thank you.
That piece of homework is gonna be for Monday. Yeah? You have plenty of time to do it.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Kira. And thank you for your work. I was checking your dynamics in class. You know, they were really, really nice. Anybody else? No, I guess it's crystal
So,
clear.
excuse me.
Alan, yeah.
We had to make another file, name it the dynamics in class for each one.
You could, it depends on you, or you could use the same file, you know, for keeping record of your dynamics in class. It could be the same, or it could be a different one. You decide.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Those are the advantages of working with Google Drive, that you could edit, you know, the same file and work on it. Yeah. But it's up to you. You decide. Thank you, Alan. Anybody else? Or you could upload different files, you know, it's as long as you write, remember, date and hour and session. Okay, has to be clear. Anybody else? No? Well, I appreciate it for your time. I appreciate it for being here. I think we are doing well. We're going to learn together. I'm sure. I promise you will learn. That's my promise. As long as you keep on working hard, okay? We keep in touch. Check the presentation again if necessary, and I will be sending you an email for the next session. Wait for my email, okay? Keep on working on the drives folders. I am continuously checking that. If there are no more questions, no more comments, well, I guess we might be able to leave. Have a lovely day. Enjoy your Tuesday. Concentrate on your English. And if you have any question, you can always send me an email. Okay?
Thank you.
Thank you, teacher.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Students.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
I
you.
have already
Thank you,
learned your names.
teacher.
Most of them making an effort. Thank you very much indeed. We'll keep in touch.
Bye.
Have a nice day.
Bye.
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 Have a lovely day.
Bye, teacher.
Day.
Take care. Take care. Okay. Gonna stop recording. Stop recording.